Let's focus in on what went down in the NBA last night and what it means for the West. The Rockets defeated the Super Team Warriors at Oracle 132-127 in double overtime. James Harden with his fourth triple-double of the season. Meanwhile, the Clippers outplayed the Cavs at the Q with a 113-94 victory. LA entered this game 0-12 versus LeBron James teams on the road. Max, let's start with you. More impressed with the Rockets or the Clips?
The answer is the Clippers. You got to give the Rockets credit. Stephen A., maybe you'll do that, but the answer is the Clippers because we all know what it is with Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni is an asset inflator. He'll make your team look better than they should look, right? But no one really thinks the Rockets are going to push anyone to win in the playoffs. They're going to be exciting, and they'll have highlights and all that kind of stuff. But the Clippers? Yeah, the Clippers are expected to contend. They are expected, along with the Spurs, to actually push the Warriors in the Western Conference. They're the team that I and others have identified as the one most likely to upset the apple cart. So here they are coming off 3 out of 4 losses. Last game, Blake sits. That was Doc's decision. And now they're playing the Cavs. And all I was looking for from the Clippers is, can you compete and lose a competitive game? That would show me something. And they did a lot better than that. And I think that is Doc Rivers getting that team focused on the task at hand, getting them to buy into a sense of urgency in terms of what the mission really is this year. And this game for them, Stephen A., was a litmus test. Forget about what conference you're in. It was a litmus test against one of the 2 elite teams that tells the team something about itself and its identity with a longer view toward the playoffs, something that this really wasn't for the Rockets against the Warriors.
Completely disagree with you. If a litmus test is associated with the Clippers at this stage of a regular season game, then they are nothing that we thought that they were. They have Chris Paul, they have Blake Griffin, they have DeAndre Jordan, they've got Doc Rivers, they now have a bench. This is a championship contender. I don't give a damn what they did during a regular season game this early in the season, not to mention the fact that they had 3 losses, 3 straight losses coming into the game. So, they were going to be fired up for a little bit, caught the Cavaliers napping. Fair enough. We got to remember, Max, I was in Cleveland last year in the regular season when the Cavaliers lost to Golden State by 43. 43. They got obliterated. But we see who the champions are right now. Let me get to Houston, because to me, I was more impressed with the Rockets. And here's why. James Harden's a superstar, man. This brother's on another level. I mean, right now he's averaging 28.7, 12 assists. Like 7 or 8 rebounds. This dude is doing it all. He's the one competing with Russell Westbrook in terms of numbers and potential MVP candidacy. But I got to give some love to Mike D'Antoni too. I mean, this team and Daryl Morey. You got to remember what happened with Houston last year. James Harden has a meeting, according to the players on the Rockets. They come out of that meeting, and the next thing you know, Kevin McHale is fired. 11 games into the season. You had dudes that felt that was something that Harden did. Whether it was accurate or not, we don't know, but that's what they felt. Then we see that before Dwight Howard was gone, he was being eased out of the offense. And not necessarily as much as in minutes, but more so in terms of touches and activity. James Harden was somebody that was believed to have something to do with that. Daryl Morey was on thin ice. Everybody knows this. So what do they do in the offseason? Dwight Howard's gone. Mike D'Antoni is brought in. Hands the point guard spot to James Harden. This is what we're going to do. Here's why. Because we believe we'll be more potent offensively, not to mention even more entertaining. And sure enough, they're both. They are more potent offensively. And they are more entertaining. And James Harden is an MVP candidate as far as I'm concerned. And this dude, Ryan Anderson, shooting about 40 to 42% from three-point range. You got him from New Orleans. He dropped 29 last night. Eric Gordon, we thought he was finished. And this dude's the second leading scorer on the team. Trevor Ariza can play some ball, okay? This Clint Capella is active, and he's improved tremendously in terms of defensive and offensively. And with his activity, I'm looking at the Houston Rockets right now. And I'm saying, excuse me, I wouldn't call them the team to beat or anything like that. But Max, watching them, do you see anybody that can definitively stop them.
Yes.
When James Harden is coming down the floor as the point guard with the ball in his hand, at any given moment he can boogie on you or dish it off or take it to the hole and get to the free throw line where he's hit damn near 90%. They are no joke.
No,
they are no joke.
I do see that. See, I knew this going into the season. This is what was going to happen, especially with Anderson opening things up for Harden, obviously. Though his defense is so bad, I don't see how you play him more than 20 minutes in the playoffs when the game does change a bit. And can you stop their offense? The D'Antoni offense is hard to stop. The problem is, as we all know, D'Antoni doesn't care about defense. And by the way, neither does James Harden. And that will be their undoing.
He's doing better this year. James Harden's done better this year. He's doing better this year.
When D'Antoni is coaching a team, and the best player especially is a guard who buys into D'Antoni's philosophy, Steve Nash, Jeremy Lin, James Harden, D'Antoni can really do his thing. And what is his thing? He can play a brand of basketball, particularly in the regular season, that's very high scoring, very fun to watch. Pundits will love it, and they will laud him and the team because they enjoy watching the fast pace and everything like that. In the end, it might even advance in the playoffs, but it's not a true championship threat. The way I view D'Antoni, if I owned a team, is I would bring him in as an asset inflator, and that includes James Harden, who's a fantastic player. But D'Antoni will make this kind of team and that kind of player look better than they are. And if you're handling things properly and you're the Rockets, eventually you flip those pieces into actually great pieces. I'm not saying Harden's not an actually great piece, but some of the other pieces. And even Harden right now is a little bit overrated. And we knew that would happen going into the season. This was going to happen. It's happening.
No. That's not what we knew. Here's the deal.
I knew it.
When you look, well, no, you didn't actually. But the point is this: when you look at the Houston Rockets, first of all, Harden is playing better defensively. Is he playing stout defense? No, he's got too many responsibilities. That's not what he's going to do. Patrick Beverley deserves a lot of credit because that dude is tenacious. He's a pit bull. He could be on my team any day of the week. Let's be clear about it.
We've got a roster spot for Patrick Beverley, no doubt.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal. The move to switch Harden to the point guard spot, where Harden has shown a willingness, not just a propensity, but a willingness to sit up there and dish that basketball. That creates a whole different kind of problems because usually he's holding the ball, he's dancing on everybody, he's doing all of this other stuff. This dude is moving the basketball, or he's in attack mode. That changes the dynamic of things in the West in this respect. We know that Golden State is elite. We know that San Antonio is elite. Who else can we definitively rely upon other than those two? That's why this gets so interesting. Because you can't say that.
Clippers will beat the Rockets in the playoffs if it comes to that.
Wait a minute. You can't say that because they might not face them in the playoffs and they might lose to somebody else beforehand.
If it comes to
that. I'm sorry, Max. I'm sorry. You were living in L.A. how many years?
5.5.
Oh, all right. Have you ever take your time? Hold on. When the Clippers played in the conference finals, not the NBA finals, the conference finals, take your time and tell me when that happened. I'll wait. When did they play?
That would be never. Never in their history.
Thank you. So my point is, don't tell me about what the Clippers are going to do.
You and I had an argument before the season started about Harden being used as a point guard. My position was we both agreed that he holds the ball too much and it's too okay. My point was D'Antoni is going to use him as a point guard in a way that will make Harden, who's a great player, look even better than he is. We debated that. And, in fact, that's precisely what happened. Right now, you knew it would be Westbrook and Harden in the MVP conversation because D'Antoni's got Harden at the point.
But what I'm saying to you is what we have to step back and recognize is that despite what both of us has said, what we're seeing is not just a level of explosiveness from Harden. We're seeing unselfishness. And with the backdrop of everything that happened last year, I didn't expect to see it this early. And because you're seeing that right now, and Ryan Anderson, everybody, Clint Capella, I mean, who the hell expected something from him? Well, but he looks good. He really looks good.
Because my assumption is Daryl Morey never brings in Mike D'Antoni if they don't have reason to believe ahead of time that Harden is going to buy into D'Antoni. That's the key to any D'Antoni team. Does the best player, particularly if that player's a guard, buy into D'Antoni. Stephen A., he made Jeremy Lin look like the second coming. What you think he was going to do with James Harden?
But come on now. You know, you can't always say that because I don't find Kobe being somebody that bought into D'Antoni.
He didn't. That was the problem.
Listen,
he
wait a minute. Wait a minute. D'Antoni should have never been the coach there.
No doubt.
That should have been that should have been Phil Jackson's return. So that's my point. Now he's got Harden, but still in all, with all of Harden's history in terms of ball hogging or what have you, what we're seeing him do right now, I'm saying the point of this segment to me is I got to step back and give Harden a whole bunch of credit because I know he's a superstar talent, but he's leading this team. He's leading them. He's being unselfish. He is flat out balling. And if he continues to do this, I can't definitively say that Houston can't make it to the conference finals. I can't do that.
I can definitively say that, but I'm glad you finally come around to my way of thinking about Harden and D'Antoni.
Because of the Clippers?
Sure.
Because of the Clippers?
Or the Spurs. Yeah. Clippers or Spurs,
I'm not saying the Clippers can beat anybody,
right,
but they can lose to anybody. Well, don't give me the Clippers until I see it.
Listen, with the chips on the line, Doc ain't letting this Clippers era go by without at least a conference finals appearance. It's going to be this year.
And that's emotion talking. What is this? Well, I mean, that's emotion talking. You don't know that.
Even though you two are fire on the NBA, we got to leave it there because Will Kane, he's about to be fire on those Cowboys. He's got that Friday feeling because it wasn't easy. But Big D wins their 11th straight game after holding off the Vikings. Is America's team now a lock for the Super Bowl? Don't miss that discussion after the break. And this, two of the NFL's best receivers face off on Sunday. But who gets the last laugh? Former Steeler and Giant receiver Plaxico Burress will tell you if he's on Team Odell or Team Antonio.
Caught by Odell, he's to the 40, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Giants! Oh baby, is he good!
Throws it over the middle, touchdown, Antonio Brown, and this place erupts.
I think Antonio Brown